Hello and welcome back to the Sam Beast YouTube channel. My name is David Foxen and I'm thrilled that you have joined us in what is part one of a 5-part new mini series on the channel. In this mini series, we are going to look at the 5 considerations that you should be making if you're looking to replace your ITAM technology or even get a new technology in your organization. Now, I can't do this series alone, and I am joined by my former colleague, fellow ITAM enthusiast as well, Lauren Smith. Now, Lauren has got vast amounts of experience in picking ITAM technologies, in implementing them, and helping customers make sure that they're optimizing and getting the most out of their technology as well. So please sit back, relax, enjoy. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you actually like this content. So yeah, enjoy this 5-part series and we will see you soon here at the Sam Beast YouTube channel.
I would love to know your 5 steps or 5 bits of advice that you'd give ITAM person who's maybe feeling a bit lost. They've been given a budget for an ITAM tool, not got a clue where to start. Yeah, I'd love to know your 5 top tips, your 5 steps. And let's start with the first one. What's your first step?
So I'd start with what are your key priorities? What do you need to achieve in the organisation? And that will start to really help you define what your key attributes are that you require from an ITAM tool. So if you're looking for your organisation's first ITAM solution, then it's likely that you've used 1, 2, or even more tools in the past. So you've got used to them, you know how they work, but that doesn't mean that there aren't other ITAM tools out there that you're not familiar with that would suit your requirements better for this organisation you're working for now. It goes for renewal. So when you renew software, your priorities have changed, your functions matured, so the tool that you've got might not be sufficient anymore. So, with all software, you wouldn't just renew your licenses without doing those checks. Does it still fit your strategy? Does it still do the job you need them to do? What I would do is always recommend booking a demonstration for the tools and solutions that you might not have experience with to see if that's more in line with what you're aiming to achieve now.
So what I'm hearing, Lauren, is go shopping.
Pretty much that's it. Whether it's your first one or your renewal, go and look what's out there in the market. Tools are developing all the time, so you don't know that what wasn't good enough 3 years ago might not be perfect now.
Oh, very good point. I like that. So if you've gone through, if this is tool number 2, say, or you're going through your renewal for that particular ITAM technology and you've actually reviewed some in the past that didn't make it then because they weren't good enough, time's a good healer, right? It might be good enough now.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like I say, your priorities have changed. So your tool that was really good for the last 3 years might not be suitable anymore.
It's kind of like car shopping, right? I know you like your cars. I know you from working with you. I know you like your cars. I know you like your it's fair to say your German engineered cars, your BMWs, your Mercedes Benzes. But yeah, I mean, when you go and get a new car, right, you don't just go into the first one you see and hop in and drive it. Like, well,
No,
you definitely don't.
No, but you take them for test drive, whether it be a demo or a proof of concept, for instance. You try it out and then you work out which one suits you best.
Exactly. You may not need 7 seats. You may only need the 5 seats. Overkill. You don't need all these extra features in. It's going to cost you a lot more money. Or that road tax is quite a lot. Maybe that's not quite valuable. But yeah, no, a fantastic point. And I think that's something that people don't do, right?
Because they're so worried about, it took so long to implement.
Exactly. It took so long, 3,
it's been
4,
a painful
5 years.
road.
Yeah, they're traumatized by the experiences of the past, and if they've spent so much time adding all of their all their licensing agreements, modifying all of the metrics that the tool's reporting on in terms of for compliance and usage, and then you go, actually, CIO. This one's not quite working out for me anymore. Remember the one that we spoke to 3 years ago? It wasn't good enough. It's good enough now. Shall we switch? A lot of ITAM people, especially on the end user front, that would bring a bit of a shiver down the spine and a bit of a cold sweat, right, in having to have that difficult conversation with the CIO. But you're 100% right.
The long-term value could be so much more important than what the short-term pain might be.
Very good point. No, I love that. And I think as well, Just before we started recording, we were talking off camera about how even when we were working together, disclaimer, we work together, by the way. Even when we were working together, there was a clear kind of like 2, maybe 3 horse race, right, in terms of ITAM technologies. We're saying, how new releases were like a big thing, there's a big marketing push behind it, videos, lots of hype around the new things that tools can do. And I think since they've become more SaaS products and they become, regular feature releases, much like the software industry as a whole, there isn't really like a huge amount of tools that are like clear head and shoulders now above other ones. So exactly like you said, right, there might have been one 3 years ago when it was, the market conditions were different, that wasn't quite good enough, but now have slowly, and maybe not very publicly, gone about making those improvements to get up to the level of some of the big boys that used to be there. And obviously you've got the might, the financial power, marketing and stuff that ServiceNow have as well when they're entering into the ITAM world. So I think if you're an ITAM manager right now, it's a great time to go shopping for a tool.
Absolutely. And you don't even have to be at the point of your renewal to do that shopping. No company is going to ask you to pay for demonstrations. They want to get you to see their solution. So at the end of the day, go browsing. It might be something you can come back to in the future.
Go shopping. But that's a good point, actually. This is off the question I was asking you, but that's a really good point, is that obviously if you are shopping, you are looking at other ITAM technology providers, is not to have that hard cutoff date. So not have our renewal with you ends on the 31st of December and on the 1st of January with this new tool provider, and having it completely fresh and clean, because that's a recipe for disaster. Imagine that one.
There's got to be a transition period, and so you don't want to wait till your renewal's expired. You want to get ahead of the game. Look what's out there, start that process, but you don't have to commit to anything at that stage.
And something as well that you've seen a lot, I know you've seen a lot, is you even seen it on LinkedIn, right? People saying my tool doesn't work. It's not what was sold to me. It doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. We're switching, we're looking for a new one, etc. But then you actually go in and understand that they haven't added any of their licenses in there. They've not configured any of the applications that are reporting on it. They've not defined usage metering. And it's like, you getting a new tool is not going to make all of this go away. And already that tool has an unfair, bad reputation within that business of being rubbish, not fit for purpose. So if you go through that cycle again and go, right, cutting you off, getting a new one in, and aren't prepared, haven't configured it properly, and then straight away you're going to lose the trust in that tool from day one.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who will say, one tool is the if you can use one tool, you can use them all. And it's not true, because there are nuances to each individual solution. There are differences that you have to incorporate, and not all solutions are the same. So you do need to take companies up on their training, and you need to really work with the company to understand how that solution is working, to really understand it, to get the best out of it.